Bitcoin here up. Normally we start with QQQ, so let's flash that guy over there. Still sideways action. Womp, womp, womp. I mean, I guess it's better than straight down, huh, GP?
Sure.
Sure. Oh, he's so excited again. I just love the attitude. Um, all right, links. Oh, I got to tag you guys. Links are linked. Twats are tweeted. I have to add the seven onto your name, GP, because that's the way it works. And this fucking market, LOL. There we go. Hey, first, I just want to jump in real quick before we get too deep on the pod. And a few of you have reached out to me asking if everything's okay after the hurricane. Yes, me and my family are okay. We virtually unscathed. There are some people with power outages, but just keep the people in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee and Western South Carolina in your thoughts and prayers. They need a lot of help. I don't know. Some of the places that we just recently went through while we've been out and about this summer have been virtually wiped off the map as far as any
And
structures and
Western South.
structures and that type of stuff. So just keep those people in your prayers if you can help in any way. Thanks. I'm sure they appreciate it. But there's a lot of devastation out there, and hopefully, they see some recovery soon. Some of these mountain roads you just can't get in. They're gone. There's no roads anymore. So it just makes it really hard to get infrastructure back in there in some of these places. So, um, best wishes and positive vibes to those folks. Anyway, so how about this market, GP? How about this market, Nick?
We're getting close, I think.
Getting close to what? The pop or the drop?
Um, as of right now, I think the pump.
You look at Thursday, right? And that was so promising, and then you come down and down. So we're basically exactly where we were at the beginning of last week. So
Yeah.
all that anticipation and excitement's kind of out the window a little bit on the cues. The spy, very similar, right? GP's been saying now for weeks, we're not going anywhere, and he's bored. Um,
Netflix keeps telling you don't need to look at the SPY or the Q or the IWM. Just look at Netflix.
just
It's
look at
literally telling
Netflix.
you where this
Netflix
market's
looks
going.
worse, right?
No, it looks fine. It's just
Right.
it's not going anywhere till earnings, and I don't think it's anything's going anywhere till elections. Who's putting money to work in this market right now? Unless you're already long. Yeah.
Unless you're already long. Yeah.
All right. No one's
I'm
putting
long.
money to work. So but no one's panicking either because no, there's nothing to panic about at the moment. So all you see is this, a range between 700 and 706 closing. We get one pop, we finally break out, and it immediately gets sold the next day. So, dude, the volume as of 2:37 in Netflix was 848,000 shares. 848,000 shares. It is
Minuscule.
so lacking liquidity that you're actually getting intraday gaps constantly.
I mean, if
Just
you're already long and in positions, I think this is a good thing, and stuff is setting up, just giving you opportunity to add to positions that you have on.
yeah, which is fine for me, but there's also an element of my world which is trading, and that is
Yeah.
Poo
nonsense
poo.
right now, right? So it's just yeah, it's just got to be patient, and we've been patient for pretty much the entire year, and we've gone nowhere in mostly anything except for Meta. Meta actually looks like it's breaking out, but also I don't know about you guys, but after 8 months of consolidation, I would have assumed a lot of people are like, oh, the previous all-time high is 542. So if it breaks out, it's going to get to 550. I'm like, what kind of stupid motherfucking prediction is that? Sorry, pardon the French. That was a little like, oh, you're predicting an 8-point move higher after 8 months? Good job. You're a great trader. That's a good job.
That math ain't mathing.
That math ain't mathin', right? So it's like, oh, it's the same thing with Netflix. Oh, if it breaks 711, it's going to 712. No shit. That's natural progression. Anyway, there's been a lot of that I've seen, but what we're used to from prior markets is when things consolidate for this long, the breakouts are powerful, and they are not at this point. So
If it's at 711, it's either going to 712 or 710.
yep, yep. You guys are fantastic predictors of the markets. You just love you. Like, oh, look, my target of NVIDIA 122 hit, and you're like, dude, it was 119. It's not like it's rocket science here. So I'd like to see people actually give more solid predictions of stuff breaking out. But the reality is, it's not. You're getting to the top of the range. You're getting sold to the bottom. So the people commentating on the markets are doing it pretty accurately because nothing breaks out. It gets to a target, goes back down. Gets to the bottom, goes back up. Rinse and repeat.
What do we think about the China super stimulus going on though? Those names, I mean, I'm gonna pull up Baba for instance. It's sold off pretty significantly today. But those have been some nice moves the past few weeks in these names. And the stimulus was only announced what, last week or the week before? I can't remember. I think it was last week.
I believe they knew that my Baba calls were expiring, so they announced it afterwards.
So pump it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. You had to get out because you were expiring.
Yeah. So I had Baba 90 calls for Friday, and I was like, oh, I should probably get them for next week, but I'm like, I don't trust this China move ultimately. And they didn't cut rates, so I'm like, okay, definitely not going to happen. So I'm not going to. And then they come out with a bazooka for stimulus, and they're like, oh.
I mean,
But it
that's
is what it is. It was still a winning trade, so
21% on the week for old Baba. You look at the K Web, I mean, 26%. FXI, which is large cap China, also 18%. I mean, look at that big green bar there, GP. You're the volume man. You calling that fugazi?
What Tepper said in the interview is absolutely accurate. Like
I didn't hear Tepper's interview, so I don't know.
Tepper basically said, we're going to support this market to the upside, right? China basically came in and said, we're just going to throw free money at you. And he compared it to 2010 when the same thing happened then. And he said, what are you doing like trying to short this? You should not be short this market, right? Like the Fed is coming in and telling you there's cheaper rates. China's telling you we're ready to fire multiple bazookas. Pennies in front of steamrollers is the constant theme in my head, is that Baba will do what it's going to do short term, but this is, if you're looking at it long term, it has underperformed. China in general has underperformed the world markets for the last 4 years, 5 years now. So a lot of these will continue. And now China, which is not usually, they're literally just sending money to people's pockets. Like, oh, you're below the poverty level line. Here's 800 yen or whatever the amount is. I don't even know what the amount is, but
Where are you a buyer now? Like, let's say you don't have anything. Let's say you don't have any China names on your.
yeah, so like if I'm looking at Baba, I was looking for a pull in a Baba. What, like a moment where they scare. Typically they have this moment where they scare in these like these trends that are going to begin, right? So you have that initial kind of pop, 20-25%, whatever it is. And then you have this big 50% retracement, right? And everyone's like, oh, look at that, fucking China again. And that's kind of where you buy. I don't know where that exact level will be on
It'll
China.
be close to 100 GP.
That's kind of the level I was looking at. But it has done all kinds of weird things over the last couple of years. So I'm not beholden to the level. I'm gonna be beholden to the sentiment that I see on FinTwit a bit here.
Yeah.
And once that happens, once you get that, I think this is your opportunity to buy leaps, right? This is the secondary move out of the primary move. That's where you'll see premiums come in a lot because premiums are inflated right now, even with the small
Yep.
pullback here. But if this pullback becomes a bigger pullback, those premiums will die faster. And I think that's when you get an opportunity to buy some leaps here because when we talked about this in 2022, where like the Fed is announcing a monster monetary policy change. If you are trying to get long, what that monster policy change is going to result in, it's not the right time, right? Wait till it kind of irons out. It usually takes 6 months, which is kind of around where we bottomed, right? In June, where we had the sentiment in June of 2022. We retested in October and it's off to the races. But it takes about 6 months for people to reposition, hedge funds to reposition, et cetera. So I'd say this is a monster shift for China in general. So you have to, I can't imagine not wanting to get long on any decent pullback here. But that's me.
Yeah, I like the 100 level on Baba, Nick. I mean, I mentioned this before on the China names. Part of the real challenge in trading them is not just what the government could do at any whim. It's they're halfway around the world, and when the market's closed and we're sleeping is when something breaks. And if you're trying to bottom tick, I don't know that it's hugely successful. I think around 100's a fair value, and if it's something that you want to trade, that's where I would add to my existing position and just hold on for the ride. I don't think that last week or the week before, I can't remember, I said this is going to at least the 120s. It's still going to the 120s. So you still got a 20% upside from here. And if that's all it does, that's all it does. But didn't hear Tepper, but thank you for the summation there, GP. I think he's absolutely right. If they are going to sustain this market to the upside, why do you try to fight it, right? Like, why are you trying to short it? Why just hold on and make a little dough, maybe?
Yeah. And like today was a great moment where it had a monster move up that was most likely going to be faded. So if once it started breaking levels, you could have taken a short. So there'll be key shorts in this interim process, but the overall trajectory here is to the upside. And I believe as a market as a whole, China is generally underweight in most portfolios, right? If not non-existent.
Yep.
So that's going to take some time to build. How do they build it? They're not building it. They're not chasing it up. They're going to bring it down. Like it's just normal. Why would a hedge fund want to pay 115 when you can scare some retails at a 115 at 100, right? It's just normal.
What do you see? What are you thinking, Nick?
Yeah, same thing. As far as Bob is concerned, I was thinking even like an undercut to like that gap at 95, but the 100, I mean 100 give or take.
Yeah.
Move. I mean, I think in the way that I'm looking at China right now, like I think considering the move that we just had, I think it needs a few weeks to maybe a couple months of some basing action here, but I wouldn't be opposed to adding to, I have Baba too. I wouldn't be opposed to adding on like a pullback. The 50% from the most recent, like if you're just measuring from like a breakout at 80 to 110, like you're talking 95 is the 50% basically. So, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's that psych level too, where people are like, oh no, it broke again, back to normal.
yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about something in the 90s, but I just think it's too hard to try to pick that bottom. You might get it, you might not get it. Like you might wake up and all of a sudden it's gapped up to 140. You just can't find it. It's one of those things. It's almost like crypto in a way, where you just gotta sort of be in it and hang on.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's been basing for a really long time. So it's possible that there are no pullbacks. Like today is the pullback
Yeah,
that you get.
Yeah, totally.
yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, just that's the daily chart here. Look at those gaps. I mean, from 85, basically you're straight up.
Yep.
And parabolic can stay parabolic, right? We've seen this before, not with just with China names, but any name that we've talked about over the past 3+ years is right. We've seen parabolic stay parabolic for some time.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the consensus though is that there's no way it stays flat, right?
no, right, exactly.
It's
For
either
sure.
there's a nasty pullback where everyone says, oh, there goes China again. Tepper was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Or they give you no entry point.
As a society, we love to castigate those who go out there and choose a side on something. It's part of it. You can be wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
All of our wives will tell us we're wrong quite often.
All
Dude,
uh,
Tepper basically said he's got no risk management to this China trade.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
He's like, fuck it, I'm a hedge fund, I do what I want.
Throw it all at it.
He said he went over his limits. His interview was like, I don't care what any of you have to say. I don't even know why I'm here.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great interview. He was so annoyed by what was one of I think the question was around the risk tolerance. He was so annoyed.
It's like, why should I be risk tolerant? This market is being supported to the upside. Get a fucking grip.
Yeah, but I think he did lean non-US markets versus US markets.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, we've talked about, how well you know, the mega caps have done, and we've been looking at opportunity in other names, a lot of IGV names, right? And some smaller and mid cap stuff. But there has been a huge washout specifically to, I mean, the China trade, and I think foreign stocks make a lot of sense right now. And that doesn't
Hmm.
mean that I want to own them until I die, but like we've said before, you can trade anything
Yep. As Jim Cramer says, there's a bull market somewhere.
somewhere.
Right? And he's probably pretty accurate, right? In terms of that statement. There's
Yeah.
always somewhere.
What bull markets are you looking at, Nick?
I was just pulling up India's ticker because as soon as you started talking about international,
Yeah. I
somebody
like the INDL, which is 2x bull shares. But which one are you looking at?
yeah, I was looking at the INDY. Or wait,
That's Indica Energy. That sounds like some dank.
INDY.
NDY. Yeah, India shares. Okay, I see it down there.
What did I say?
That's what you said. There's
Oh,
something else with INDY too.
yeah, okay. I was gonna say like
Indica Energy, they are based out of I don't know what country that is. Yeah. I've got some free cash. India might be a little play there, Nick. I don't hate it.
yeah, somebody had tweeted, I don't remember who it was. Somebody had mentioned India, and had been meaning
Monthly
to.
all-time highs on deck.
But I like EEM instead.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're more of the let's just get all the emergings.
It's a better chart to me,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
right? So this chart is
Stage two.
it's coiled, it hasn't moved yet. There's a monster base here with a ton of shakeouts. Um, so
it's held the all-time trend line as we can see there.
yep, that's the
That-
same trend line.
That's pretty good.
Um, so I like this. Like once it clears that 4630 area, I think it's off to the races, right? And so
Yeah,
but
that's
it's not a fast mover by any means, right? Like it's
no.
not. So, but this is
To keep an eye
like
on.
kind of stuff it away for a while.
Yeah, I would look at that range just like that, and you just broke into the upper half. Yeah, yeah, it's not too hot, not too cold. Got a little volume turning up here on the monthly. We know you love the volume, GP. You love to see money coming in.
Money coming in is money there to support it. So
Right.
Man, why wouldn't you just buy it? So Vanguard has a total world stock ETF. Huh.
The
I,
VTI?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. VTS. VTS.
Yeah.
how's that doing? It feels like
What a
It
monster.
more it more attracts the S&P, I feel like.
Okay.
yeah.
It certainly does not care
Yeah,
about
it's
the
the
world
same.
stock.
So it's the same chart, Nick. Here's the S&P,
Yeah.
and now here is the VTI. You ready?
Yep.
Pow. Same chart.
Oh damn. Okay.
Literally same chart.
You know what's great about today?
What's great about today? That we're
We
10
say
toes up.
goodbye to September trading. I'm
Yeah.
so over this month.
Oh, there's a
And
there's
quarterly
the
candles
VT,
and
Nick. I'm
monthly
sorry, GP.
candles.
It's the same.
And so if you guys are looking at monthly candles, all of this is sit and wait type setups, right? Like
Yep.
look at the Home Depot monthly, look at the Lowe's monthly, look at the CRM monthly, you look at the Netflix monthly, look at the Meta monthly. I can go through and list probably 40 to 50 monthly charts that Palantir monthly, Duolingo monthly, IoT monthly. We can go on and on, right? Like there's the monthlies are telling you that the market is ready for the next leg higher. The question is which month is that going to be? Is that going to be October? Is it going to be post elections, etc. I'm still in the camp that is post elections because if I was new money, would I be putting it to work before I know what president's going to be coming in? Probably not.
It's not a question of when or if, it's just when.
Dude, look at the Mandy monthly, MNDY. Like look at that accumulation and it hasn't even gone yet, right? Like this is all setting up and it's these aren't in the indices per se, but um look at the AMD monthly, look at the NVIDIA monthly, look at the uh the MicroStrategy monthly is ridiculous. This monthly is just phenomenal
Hey
in
Nick, would
terms
you say
of
that's months tight or no?
I don't give a fuck what it is, it's ready to go.
Um.
I
No.
mean, it's hard to say months tight when it's 30% moves and 20%
It
moves.
is 6 inside months above the 130-150 pivot, which is the prior 52-week high. And it is sitting above the 9 SMA monthly. It is sitting above all of the levels. Every time it gets to 130, 150 on a daily or weekly basis, it gets bought up. It is essentially flagging at a pivot high, which you have a very clear point in reference of if the trade has worked or if the trade hasn't. You get a monthly close under 130, 150, get out, right? If it
Out.
doesn't, you stay in.
Get
Yeah.
out. If it breaks that monthly 9, get out.
It's working on a 30-year cup and handle. Just throwing it out there.
No. Come on. You're going to call
And
that a cup of
it's
handle?
outperformed Nvidia. It has outperformed every single stock since 2020.
Well, let's I saw that you made a little comment there in the chat, GP. Um let's just talk about our quarterly picks. Um we'll start with coin that our good friend GP had, and I'm just going to do back of the napkin math here. Minus 19% GP.
Yep.
Nick chose ice, and right now ice he bought at 141.17, and it's roughly 160 right now. We'll just call it 160 just for shits and gigs because we still got 30 more minutes of market. 13.2 or 4% roughly right now, Nick. And then I took Bitcoin, and we gave me the courtesy of just saying 56K at the time, and we're at 63.34. So Nick and I are virtually tied at
All right.
13 point some odd percent. So I think ice probably was a much nicer bump, right? You had that really big up week back here. Um, but the Bitcoin ride has also been fun. We didn't really pop through September like I was hoping. We came to the top of the flag there. But we're still holding all the key weekly moving averages, and now we're holding the monthly 9. So Bitcoin looks great to me up here. Don't ask me if I'm buying any more. I already bought a lot down lower, so no, now's not the time to buy more. Now's the time to wait and be patient. But Nick, we'll see how it ends right at 4 o'clock. But you're gonna have to be closer to what is it? 161 by close, and I'm gonna have to be under 63. And I don't know if either one of those things are going to happen.
No.
So I think we're basically going to be tied, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because you look at coin, and my God, it could have easily been down 19%, but
Yep.
that's not a slap at you, GP. That's just like Bitcoin could have fallen harder than Bitcoin, or Bitcoin could have fallen harder than Coinbase did, but we haven't yet. So
No,
anyway,
I'm still in the camp that something's wrong with Coinbase, that there's something news coming on. So it
something
continues to,
unseen.
well, there's something, right? Because it continues to underperform heavily on down and up days, right? Like Bitcoin's down 3%, it's down 7%, right? So
Yeah.
it's almost like it turned itself into a 2x Bitcoin play. And but there hasn't been a lot of volume. The monthly has not a lot of volume, so that gives me hopes that it's just shenanigans. But the underperformance is apparent compared to MicroStrategy, compared to Bitcoin, compared to anything that's not miners related.
I'm really not digging the Batman we got going on here.
Yeah, I still think 120 is like a most likely outcome.
Yeah. The further we go into time into the future, the more this looks like whoopsie.
Look, it reclaimed the 50-week SMA and immediately gaps down 6%, right? Like it's,
Immediately pooped on it. Yep.
yeah, so that those aren't signs that a stock is strong, right? Those are signs that it's weak. As much as I'd like it to be not the case, and am a bag holder at the moment, it's it's telling you what it's doing, right? Ultimately.
You're not a bag holder underwater though. You were buying really low.
Yeah, yeah, but I started buying Connell, right? Which has gotten smoked.
Oh, yeah, the leveraged.
Yeah.
So with your normal coin shares or your, I think you had leaps, right?
I had leaps, but I
So
dusted
you're
those
already out of
out.
those. Yeah,
They're up
you're
like
out.
6 or 7. No, they're up like 9x. I'm like, I'm not holding on to that because
Yeah,
leaps
you're
that
out.
go up 9x also go to zero.
Yeah, you're out.
Yeah.
You're out.
So I bought those for I think 21 a piece, and I was out at whatever it was, whenever it might have been 5x.
I have a bunch. I have a stack of commons left because I traded it pretty well and still have some commons left, and I would love that opportunity to reload some down here a little lower.
There's no
Um,
reason for it to be that low. Um, so the question to you, Bags, is why is it going to go to 120? Like, what's wrong with it, right? That's my like. It doesn't make sense in terms of underperformance outside of the chart just being the chart, which is it's below the 200 days, below the 50. It's in a death cross. The weekly rejected the 50 SMA. It looks like the Batman pattern. All this stuff that's technically bad. Why do you think it's this way compared to better Bitcoin plays?
I don't know. I wish all I can tell you is from what I'm looking at the chart. I haven't kept up with any company news or anything. The chart does not look great, as aforementioned. Um, I'm still a firm believer in Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin's going to go, this is going to turn around and go too. So my Bitcoin thesis is still the same. We didn't quite hit that September bust through the flag, but we are in an up uh, month right now for Bitcoin. So I've got the patience. I mean, these shares are down in the 50s.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could sell them out and try to buy 120s. But if I did that, then I'm betting that I'm never going to get those 50 chance again, right? Um, so I don't know. Just the chart doesn't look great. I would love to see it stop in that 120 to one teens range somewhere. I think that would be a good opportunity. But at the same time, like I've already made good profit off of it. Is coin something that I want to be completely out of? Not really. But I would sell it if it broke that for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
I sold
Go to
another
the
stack in the hundreds.
Can you pull up the
So
monthly while you're talking?
yeah,
All right,
yeah, there's
you see like from the bottom the diminishing volume, right? As
yeah.
well.
Looks a little bit like a distribution pattern, no?
Not to me, because I would have expected higher distribution bars, right? Coupled in with this stuff. But it just doesn't look great ultimately. And the monthly, like I said, what gives me hopes is that the trend that started from whatever early 2023, late 2022 has been volume high, and then every month after that has been lower and lower. So I would like
Yeah,
to
I
say
mean,
it's consolidation.
I guess I'm looking at this biggest sell volume here. There's not another one bigger. Obviously you repeated it with two almost equal buy bars. Um, I don't
And
know.
that sell volume
I'm
was
not
in a
I'm
Bitcoin
not the
uptrend.
volume expert here, but it drying up in this manner above levels could be positive. But if the Batman pattern plays out, then I would expect a flush and volume while it's drying up. There's quite a few larger red ones in there when you look at the weekly. So I don't know. Nick, talk me off the ledge.
Coin.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, for me, it's just there's better setup. Like I'd rather be in hood right now than coin.
That's fair.
I think hood looks better. I don't. I mean, my reasoning is literally just technically like prices below the 200 and the 50. Um,
So you'd be a seller if you would have sold long ago if you were me.
um, I don't know. Like I'm definitely a buyer versus 100. So if depending on where you're long from, maybe not. But
I think my average is 55, Nick.
yeah, well, shit. That was a pretty sweet ass trade. But yeah, I probably. I mean, if it would
Oh,
have been me,
it's paid for itself. It's free money at this time, at this point.
yeah.
Like
I
I
mean,
have profited, I have capitalized off of it. These are just free shares that because I'm a believer in coin, I'm just letting ride.
do you have a? You don't have a. So you just have basically a break even stop. Then I take it.
I don't have a stop on it.
Never stop. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I'm not like uber bearish on it just because price is below the 200 day. Like it's ultimately like it's in a range right now. So there's just not a setup for me to be in it.
Yep.
Yeah, it starts breaking levels. It's a great short, right? Ultimately, this is going to flush out the 147 on its way to 120. So it's rejecting where it's supposed to.
I have been
Yeah,
set I not recently, but I've been selling calls against the position, so it has made it's still a money maker even though that it's not at $270.
yeah. And the only so for me, the only way this changes is you get a monster outperformance day where
Yeah.
Bitcoin is up 3%,
Yeah.
MicroStrategy is up 6%, and coin is up 20%, right? Like it's got to be
That's
a massive distinction to play the mean reversion back to, because if you look at it for a while, MicroStrategy and coin were tracking hand in hand. And then as this consolidation has happened, MicroStrategy has followed the Bitcoin chart pretty much. It looks exactly the same for the most part. And coin has done this, right? So now for that to mean revert, I guess what you would say is you need an outperformance day, week, whatever you want to call it, whatever time frame you're looking at it, is you need an outperformance for this to change. Otherwise, the technicals usually take over.
I mean, you could easily get it, push through 200 or the 200 day, basically same
You got a
thing.
glimpse of it Friday, right? It
Oh
outperformed
yeah.
MicroStrategy.
I mean
But it
that's
wasn't outperformance that continued to be outperformance. It got to the 193 level and bam, it just started selling immediately and gapped down today, right? So that's that's outperformance for the day, but not outperformance for the week, right? So
like
if you
I'm
look at the
I'm not
MicroStrategy,
I'm not concerned. Like I'm not eager to sell it. That's because I haven't. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to prevent is you know, apathy of oh, I own it, I don't care what it does. I do care what it does. I want it to keep going higher. But at the same time, I mean it's a nice little chunk of money that's free that I could move elsewhere. I'm not eager to sell and then have to buy something because I don't have to buy anything. But
yeah.
um,
Ooh, Google went for it.
Google and for I love what they're doing with Tesla. It's just everyone is calling for the breakout in Tesla. They are it Tesla is not it's a stock that screws literally everyone unless you're a long-term holder, right? It like if you're a call buyer, put seller, whatever, you're gonna get smoked everywhere. But Tesla, I know everyone's talking about it, so a lot of eyes on it. At some point, there's always going to be eyes on it. It still has to work, right? So this looks phenomenal.
yeah,
And the fact that they're selling it today, or they sold it pretty hard today, off of known events is kind of funny. But
Prime
we've been doing
close.
this for a while, knowing that this is all shenanigans, right? So
Yeah, it's all fuckery until it stays above 265 for good, in my opinion.
yeah,
I mean, we've had this resistance up here around 300 too, but near term, it's got to get through that 265.
and
That's
it's
been a
fuckery
trouble spot.
in the head of news, right? Like that's the thing that you got to keep in mind is like, well, they know you're buying calls, hoping for the fat gap up, so they're not going to give it to you, or if they give it to you, they're going to immediately sell it to you again. So frustration, right? Ultimately, so like it's a flow game for sure, and it's outperforming ultimately, right? So give it time, give it if you are thinking I need 3 months, give yourself 9 months because it's Tesla. Um, but give yourself time, and this should work out, unless the robotaxi event is horrible, right? Like, or deliveries are horrible, or earnings are horrible. Then there's a change in narrative. But ultimately, all those things, as of now, look like they're bullish sequence events.
He can say whatever the hell he wants to say because he's been doing it for years. I could give a rat's ass about the robo taxi, whatever event that they're having. Like, put it on the road and get the shit going, and then I'm going to believe it. Don't come out and make a grandeur. Say this is robo taxi, and then it takes months or quarters or years for it to develop. Like, show me, show me,
Agreed.
show me,
If that's what happens, then this gets sold hard. If he comes
show
in
me.
and doesn't have a ready to go product in the next 2 to 4 months, I'm not talking about years, right? We're gonna start production next year, crap.
Well,
But
I mean, let's even we can go back to the most recent launch of the Cybertruck, right? The cyber flop. I mean, it's a lot of hype. It's a great marketing tool, I guess, to get people to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a truck that's meh, right? Like there was so much hype around that vehicle, and I'm not saying that it's not a status symbol for people to own it. I'm not saying you can't have fun driving it. I'm just saying it didn't exactly deliver what was promised, which by this time we should get used to from a snake oil salesman.
I don't know. I stopped listening. What'd you say?
Yeah, I know you stopped listening. And full disclosure, I'm still long Tesla.
Yeah, and that is until proven otherwise, um, that is still the right move for the long term, right? And if Trump wins and he becomes a policy advisor or something, then you can have some
Bizarre
weird
overlord, grand overlord Elon.
dude. Like I looked through his profile over the weekend. It was one tweet about We Robot and 742 tweets about Trump, and I'm like, this guy has. I know he manages his time in a way that most people can't, but it's apparent that Tesla's not at the top
No,
of his thought
no,
process.
no, no.
Hey,
That being
got a
said,
ticker for you.
still long. That's all. That's all. Where I'm gonna leave it. I
Yeah,
don't.
and
I don't need
100% I'm
I don't need the
expecting
PayPal mafia to come after us.
Speaking of
100% I'm
robotaxi,
expecting that that Tesla will have this nasty 10% down day in between all this crap because it always does.
hey,
Nick, you think it's going higher from here?
Tesla.
Yep.
Yeah, I do. I would love to see it actually build out a handle right here and just kind of chill for another couple weeks, but who knows if
I'm
we
just
get it.
Is
hoping for I
is this
hope for
what
a
you're
gap over
referring to
300.
as the handle
Yeah.
right here?
Speaking of cars, I got a ticker for you.
Sorry, go
Oh,
ahead. I cut you both off. So
Howard this morning mentioned Grab. Dude, take a look at that weekly fucking base.
Grab Holdings. Wow. What is this thing?
It's like the Uber of it's like the Uber over there.
Over where? In China?
I don't think it's in China.
And Tesla goes green as we're talking. Good bit.
Thanks, Elon.
Dude, it was gonna go green from the moment it opened today. It's just all the intraday crap.
So Uber
Netflix
from
nice
where?
close,
Sorry,
so gap
back
down.
back to Grab. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued by Grab. Uber over there where, Nick? You know?
Um, I think it's all over like Southeast Asia, basically. Like,
Oh,
I don't think.
Grab Holdings
They're
Limited.
based out of Singapore.
Oh yeah. That's right. I
So is
just
TikTok, supposedly.
if you scroll through my feed, I retweeted Howard's
Okay.
kind of blurb on it, but I just like I don't know, looking at the base, I was like, dude, that thing looks.
Yeah, it's Uber. It's exactly Uber.
I was
I don't
thinking
know
of
if
when I looked at it, I was thinking about our quarterly picks. I was gonna, if it was already starting to actually break out, I'd probably pick it. But if it's still within the range, like it kind of seems like dead money if it's not. It's
I
not
mean, throw a dart, right? Like you can put a piker on. I know you hate it, but hey, 500 bucks can become 1500
what a
bucks if
quote.
you believe.
5 billion to buy market on close.
Oh, Google.
Are
Bitcoin
we going?
still
Are we going to
can't
do picks
find
today, or
a
we want to do them
dollar.
next week?
What's that?
Do we want to do picks today, or we want to do them next week?
We can do them today.
All right.
Sure.
GP, you sure you want to keep playing this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I like pain. I like pain.
All right. We'll wait till the bell rings, and then you can pick a stock, unless you just already know it.
No, I have a couple that I've been thinking about, but yeah, nothing yet.
Okay, fair enough.
Dude, these new IPO charts are looking phenomenal.
Yeah.
As much as you hate them, now you're loving them. What's up with that?
Wow, the evidence is telling you otherwise, right? Like the reality is it bases for quite some time, and these have based for quite some time, right? This is when execution starts to pan out. They base for what, year and a half or 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
So when you give me an IPO at like 6 months, it's hard for me to tell you because there's still that transition between VC owners, new owners, all that stuff. But at 2 years, most of that stuff is played out, and the VCs that are going to stay long are going to stay long, and the new owners have come in. So, um, uh, like the Mandy quarterly, that it just looks phenomenal.
So you're not going to take Square,
I am not going to take Square. Why would I take Square? It's a piece of
right?
shit.
I don't know.
Literally that and PayPal, like everyone's like, oh my God, it went up $1.50. It's amazing.
I
Uh,
don't know.
it's like 64 guys.
We were talking about China names. Good old Neo. I mean, it sold hard today, but that's been a ride in the China sector there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did all the markets just go green?
Yeah.
Nope, Dow did not. Interesting.
Fucking close. Look at that.
5 minutes left in this trading day. Hey, Randy, what are you looking at? October 10th might not allow the Tesla handle build out from Alexander. Hey, Alexander, welcome back. It's great to see you. Jason, what are you looking at? Alexander, what are you looking at?
All the megas are ripping into the close.
Pratt, what are you looking at? Brad, comment in the chat. Tell us what
I
you guys
I
like.
I also love the
We can
red
have
table
your little
chart.
quarterly picks on here too. I don't mean little derogatory.
Damn, I was wondering.
CYBREAEXAS. Tractor Supply, baby. SMG. Tractor Supply looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
We love Tractor Supply.
You know what my strategy is going to be for the quarterly pick?
Pick
Find the
something that's
shittiest
just
chart I
absolutely.
can find the shittiest chart I can think of and pick it.
That's what I was going to say you were going to do.
Yeah.
Square's pretty bad.
Nope. I got my pick. We can go.
Who is it? Tell us.
Snow.
Snow?
Really?
No. Oh, you are bullshitting me. You really choose it? I mean, that doesn't look shitty to me. That looks like you're trying to bottom pick, GP.
Dude, look at Snow versus IGV and tell me it's not shitty.
Yeah. No. I'm in the grand scheme of the market, it has been a house of pain, but I kind of like the chart just from a bottom picker standpoint because you have a clear stop at one. I mean, if you even want to give it some grace, 107, but 110 is a pretty clear stop to me.
Oh yeah. From a trading perspective for sure. But we're
Yeah.
talking about winning the quarterly pick percentage wise. I need to make up for 4 quarters of underperformance. So this needs to be
You
200 by the end of next
you
quarter.
quite frankly have shit the bed on the quarterly picks.
Yes.
I mean, we have to have a management meeting sometime soon to just reevaluate your performance.
I'm going for Snow. I'm going for glory.
He's going for the Grand Slam
Going
pick.
for Snow into the
Hey Nick,
winter.
for a novice trader or even a seasoned trader, that sounds a little bit like revenge trading, does it not? Like you're
It's reverse
down and
psychology,
you have to make a
bitches.
big move.
It's reverse psychology.
I mean, I would just call the double bottom on a monthly and leave it at that. Yeah,
I know.
just for work.
Dude, it's still technically a pattern that looks solid to me, which means it's going to go lower. But yeah, what we should be doing as management is taking my quarterly picks and shorting them and being long yours.
True. True. You won like the first one or second one, right? Didn't you win one once upon a time? No.
No fucking way. They've been
Always the
terrible.
bridesmaid, never the bride.
I'm okay with that because they're not actually stocks that I hold in my portfolio. So
All right,
except
I'll
for
get
coin.
I'll get a final price on snow for you. I don't hate the snow actually. I really don't hate that chart right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't hate it. Randy said lock you up inverse GP. Jason not at the computer, but he likes AMD. Alexander ACMR. Brad, Amazon, but he wants it lower. Don't we want everything lower though? But we want everything lower, but we don't ever want everything lower, right?
Yeah.
Who else? Brad, I own snow, but I don't know. That's what Brad said. I own snow, but I don't know. Alexander picked up some Serve. Is that Serve Pro? Yeah, I think that's with all the devastation. Serve Robotics. Waste management is going to be cleaning up during hurricane season, I have a feeling. Not that we should look for people's tragedy for an investment, but sometimes it works out that way. Long XBI GP. All right, here we go. We got 10 more seconds left of this miserable trading day. And I'll get a final price on old snow.
What you going with, Nick?
I'm gonna go with VRT.
VRT?
Yeah.
Nice.
1486 and the market is closed. Nick is going
It's kind of
VRT.
tricky because if it goes, it could definitely be one of those Momo names where it rips and then just rolls over.
VRT 99.49.
It looks great on the monthly. Actually looks better than NVDA. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Nick loves him some VRT. That's a name from the Wayback Machine there. I was going to go with something I already own, but I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a cop out. I'm actually going to take, hmm, I'm actually going to pull the string because GP talks so much shit about it. PayPal
Ooh.
at 7803.
Where do you think this thing is heading? 100?
$1.40.
Buck 40?
What's that, Nick?
Where do you think this is heading?
Oh, it's going to at least 100.
If this actually gets real momentum, 140 is definitely on the radar.
Yeah, I'm for the quarter. I'm just going to say 100.
Yeah. Oh, we have to give our targets too, right?
We don't have to. It's tradition that we have.
Yeah. I say
So
170,
I'm just saying $100
168.
bill. You're saying
168 on snow.
snow 168. That would be a hell of a move, GP. That would
That's
be a hell
right.
of a move.
I like to
GP
marinate.
168.
I
All
like to
right.
marinate. Make it all up at once.
Vert.
I'm going with
Vertiv.
140. Dude, I hope this snow trade
Willis.
works out. Honestly.
Dude, if you're looking at IGV, right? IGV looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it
So
really
if
Yeah,
does.
IGV starts to break out, snow theoretically should participate to the upside and outperform. That's the
I
thought process.
almost took IGV, but you picking snow made me say I can't do that.
Fair.
I
I
can't
can't hate you for that one.
because if IGV's going, snow's likely going, and it's probably got some. I mean, IGV's already going, but snow probably has more catch up in it, right?
Yep. That's the thought process, right? And it could just be that it's still overvalued and it's broken.
All right, Nick. Let's get our final 63.15. 63.515, and ice finished at 160.64, which makes I think you eked it out by a tenth of a percentage, Nick.
Woo.
I think
Hey,
you eked it out.
well
Yeah. I'm actually going to change my pick.
Let's see. You started at 141.17 and you ended at 160.64, 13.79%. And I'm pretty sure you got me by about a half a percent, Nick. 56K to 63.515. 13.41%. So good job, Nick. It was heated into the last moments. So by 0.3 of a point, you got me. Good job.
Well, thanks.
Way to go. We're the only winner in this shit. Like
No.
we should start a family office
Yeah.
and inverse GP.
So I'm changing my pick from snow, actually.
Oh,
Seriously?
I'm going with my other one. Yeah. This is the one I
Go.
had from the beginning.
Go.
Wayfair.
Which one?
oh, you okay?
What did you
Wayfair.
say? Wayfair.
Wayfair.
Yeah,
56.18 is the price.
damn.
W.
That's a good pick.
Well, I want IGV now.
Go for it. Do what you want to do. Snow was just one of those. It looks so bad. It's got to be good moments. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not changing. I'm not changing who I am for this shit. Not changing who I am. I'm going with the chart I actually trust. W.
Oh, how about this? Even sweeter. I'll take snow.
Oh, them fighting words. I can't hate you for that.
I will actually take snow just because GP decided not to take snow.
Oh my God.
That's the only reason. I mean,
hope you
I
burn in
chose
hell.
PayPal
I
out of
hope you burn
spite, so I can take Snow because he dropped it. I'll do it.
as
I'll do it.
as
I'm even.
politely as I can say this. I hope you burn in hell.
I'm going to
Um,
actually buy some for real.
yeah. Actually, I was thinking about buying some too. So
So 5618 Snow. I just had it written down. I just
yeah,
marked it
this
out.
thing is catching on. What is this? Who is this
114.
Brian guy?
What did Brian say?
He said then that's a buy on Snow.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Randy, I don't know how that
It's
equates.
like wife swapping. You got that right, Randy. You got that right, brother.
He's been around the block, Randy has.
Foul ball. I'm watching the
We
Braves.
should get Randy on the stream. It'd be fun to hear what he actually has to
Yes,
say.
it would be. It would be great. Randy,
Randy, you game?
bring the coffee cake and the chairs and get ready to come on. We do need to catch up. I'll send you guys a text later about arranging a time with Cookie.
Cool.
So we'll get that on the books. But Randy, we'd love to have you. Guys, I got a mini Pee Wee football game coming up. So I've got to go be assistant wrangler. I'm not a coach. I'm wrangling 3 and 4 year olds. So it's a lot of fun. But it was great seeing you. It was great. It was great being first or second again in the quarterly picks. I look forward to that at the end of the quarter. Again, thank you for selecting Snow for me,
You're
GP.
welcome. See, I win regardless, so it doesn't matter.
You
It's
win
my
by
pick.
saying you win.
It's my pick both ways.
No, you gave it up. You punted it. All right, fellas. Love y'all. See you soon.
Peace.